Hello friends, Namaskar. Welcome all of you to my channel. Today let's discuss about the concept of arbitrage pricing theory and the overall capital structures context. So basically this question we discuss in the, we can say that advanced finance theory context. So I believe that the two discussion would help you to understand. One is the arbitrage pricing theory, which is the simply broader context of is the SARPE capital assets pricing model framework, which is all about ERI equals to risk-free rate plus market risk premium into beta value. We say that beta coefficients. So market risk premium is simply is the ERM minus RF. So is expected market returns minus risk-free rate. But at the same time, when we have a multiple factors, and by considering all, we can say that is the micro, yeah, macroeconomic factors when we consider, and to estimate that expected return is known as the concept of arbitrage pricing theory, we can say that. So based on this background, now let's talk about first of all, what about this case. So in this case you are given the risk-less return, that's a 4%, as I noted the given information here, while expected portfolio return, that is the, we have 12%, and assume that the beta coefficient for the security J, that beta 1 is the 1.24 in relation to the market portfolio is the beta 1 is 1.2. And what about the in relation to the growth of GDP, we have a, so is the beta 2 is 0.3. And what about the case of in relation to the inflation, so this is the case beta coefficient, so this is the 0.2. Okay, now the expected growth rate of GDP you are given 7%, so this is 0.07, inflation rate is 0.05. So what would be the expected return on security J? So particularly this framework we could apply. So this is ERI equals to lambda 0 plus lambda 1 beta I1 lambda 2 beta I2, similar is the lambda 3 beta I3 up to, we can say that, lambda k factors beta I k factors. So this is all about, when we say that is lambda 0 is the expected return on the assets, 0 systematic risk, so is the risk-free rate, we can say that. While particularly lambda is the, we can say that is the notation for the risk premium related to the jth common risk factor. Like in this case we have a, one is the market portfolio case, market return, next one is the GDP and the inflations. So how we are going to find, yeah, estimate the what would be our expected return on the security J, friends. So now let's illustrate the overall is its a solution part. So our risk free rate is 0. Just understand this framework. Okay, so broadly we say that now is the ER, as I explained earlier. So RF is ERM minus RF beta 1, similarly plus GDP growth, gross domestic product growth rate minus RF beta 2, inflation rate minus RF beta 3. So how we are going to estimate its value is simply we say that, yeah, I will show you its calculation here. So simply we say that our risk-free rate, so is the 0.04 plus we can use it as a, our is the ERM minus RF into, we can use its beta value, that is 1.2. Similarly, what about the other one? So this is the case of expected growth rate of GDP, that is 0.07 minus its beta 2. No, that's a minus, so we see that is the risk-free rate. Okay, is the common one that we need to use it, then into its beta, so is the beta 2, we have a 0.3. so again we use the plus, since we have a 3 factors. So last one is that is the inflation, so is the 0.05 minus risk-free rate, and then just multiply with its beta coefficients in relation to the inflation, so is the 0.2. Okay, now once we multiply it, yeah, we just sum it, friends, so it will provide us 0.147. so that is the case. Once we multiply with the just 100, so that will provide us, that is 14.7% return, friends. So this is the way we should find, we could find the our we can say that, yeah, expected by using this given information, what would be the expected return on the security J considering these factors. So this is all about 14.7%. So this is all about the simple questions which has illustrated the concept of arbitrage pricing theory as discussed by even the Ross Stephen 1976. Now let's move to the second questions, that's all about from the capital structures, which questions I have taken from the like Copeland, Western and Sastry 4th edition, that is the financial theory and the corporate policy. Page number you could find 647, that is the problem set 15.3. Okay, so particularly when this type of questions you'll find in the exam, so at first your job is to, for any questions you need to understand the given information. So this is the particularly we are this question is about XYZ company has the current market value is the 1 million, so is the 10 lakh as I noted here. This is given information, and half of which is the debt. So half of which is debt, that means the rest would be equity. So market value of debt as I studied here, so this is the 50% of V is the market value, friends. Okay, so in this case what do we do? Yeah, this value into zero point 0.5 when you do it, so this is the 5 lakh is the market value of debt. So what about the market value of equity? So simply we can say that V minus D, or 50% of V we can directly use it. So we can say it is that this market value of the firm minus is its debt. So this will be equity is 5 lakhs. Since as per this question 50-50, we can say that 50% debt, rest is the equity. While current weighted average cost of capital, which is all the cost of debt and equity is given, is the 9%, 0.09. While corporate tax rate is given as a 40%. Okay, now in this case interesting part is that the treasurer proposes to undertake a new project which cost 5 lakh. Okay, that's a treasurer proposes the to undertake a new projects, so we can say that which cost is this is the 5 lakh, so which can be completely financed with the debt. So that means we can say that this 5 lakh is its initial investment and completely financed with the debt. Okay, next important we have that is the project is expected to have a same operating risks as the company and to earn 8.5% of its leverage after tax cash flow. This project will provide us 8.5 returns. So treasurer argues that the project is desirable because it earns more than 5%, which is simply the before tax marginal cost of debt used to finance it. Okay, so what do you think as a we can say that investment analyst, yeah, financial analyst, so your useful calculation and analyze the results. So this is the case. So simply I read the question carefully and organize all the given information. Okay, so what do you think? So your useful calculation. So first of all, look at the framework of is the weighted average cost of capital, which is simply the cost of debt and the cost of equity. So this is the case. E is the market value of equity divided by value of the firm into cost of equity plus market value of debt. Sometimes we use the notation of D or B, we can say that, divided by V. So KD percentage 1 minus T, because the debt is the cost of debt. We say that we must adjust the tax, that is the tax deductible source of finance, we say that. So cost of capital as per given question we have already 0.09. So is the equity we already calculated is the 5 lakh divided by 10. So cost of equity capital we don't know. So we are going to find the cost of equity capital first of all. So what about the debt? So debt is also 5 lakh divided by 10 into, this is 5%, cost of debt is given. So this is the simply which is the marginal before tax marginal cost of debt. This is, so we need to find the KDT. So KDT is simply cost of debt 1 minus T. Okay. So once we solve this question, so what about the case of cost of equity capital? So cost of equity capital, look at the case. So cost of equity capital is simply is the 0.09. I solved this question. We could follow this step. So this is 0.015. So this is simply is the KD percentage into, we say that this is the case. Look at the case. Okay. So is the 5%. So this is the case. We say that whole divided by 0.5. Okay. So this is 50%, we can say that. So this is the case. KD percentage we have is the 5%, and so is the KD percentage. Look at the case is the KD, and this is the d by v. So d by v is the proportion of debt. This is the proportion of equity, friends. Okay. So this way, I mean to say that when you solve it, so we can say that this is the case. Our cost of equity capital is 15%. Okay, 15%. Yeah, in fraction we can say that this is 0.15. So when you are analyzing these questions, this question is all about simply we have to calculate some of the figures. Okay. So concerning about, as per this question, the company's operating risks is, we know that it's a component of overall business risks. And suppose the company is unable to, if we say that unable to meet its operating cost because of the because of decreases in the market demand, that causes reduction in the company's revenue. Okay. So the company needs to evaluate whether it can make adequate profit to survive or not. So it's the very important point, because when we analyze the business risks, so first of all we must have adequate profit, otherwise you can't manage the cost of the cost of doing business. Okay. So concerning what about the company's overall cost of risk adjusted cost of capital, which is already given. So is the this is the, we have a 9%. So while its specific cost of debt is 5%, is already given in the questions. Okay. So we need to find, and again this project will provide us the after tax return is 8.5%. Okay. So at first let's find the, what about the net spread? That is the key word, we need to find it. So with return on this project will provide us the return of how much? Just 8.5%. So you can see that simply percent in percentage 8.5 minus, so this is weighted average cost of capital is 9%. Okay. So that means we have a minus 5%. So while taking decisions, you say that as the net spread is negative, it means that treasurer argument about the project is wrong, because the net negative value of the spread would decrease the firm's value, yeah, company's value, we can say that. At the same time, if we have a positive spread, then in that case we could say that, yeah, that's a argument of the treasurer is right, because net spread, when we have a positive, so it will increase the value of the company. So particularly in this case, we can't say that this is the worthy investment based on the overall analysis. This way you could analyze the friends. Okay. So simply today we discuss about the two questions which I have taken from the, one is the arbitrage pricing theory, and next one is the case of we see that capital structures, friends. Okay. These are the things that I would like to share today. If you really like this content, please like, subscribe. Don't forget to share my channel, that's the Finance Guru, Pawan Kumar Jha, and also subscribe that. Thank you.